So we're going to go over how to draw Lewis diagrams for covalent bonds. So let's fill in this table first using the periodic table. I'm going to fill in the first three. So carbon, the number of protons would be 6. So I write down 6. It is not an ion, so it should have the same number of electrons as well. For the valence electrons, I'm going to label this at the very top of the periodic table. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this tells us the number of valence electrons. So carbon, I see a 4 there. So that's the number of valence electrons for carbon. Number of electrons to fill outer shell. So with this said, y'all, the number should be 4 because 4 more electrons are required to get the desired 8 valence electrons. So 4 more electrons to fill the outer shell. Now we have chlorine. Chlorine has 17 protons, 17 electrons. Valence electrons is 7, and it only needs 1 more to be stable. Hydrogen. Hydrogen has 1 proton, 1 electron. It has 1 valence electron, and to be stable, the closest noble gas to it is helium, and helium has 2, so it just needs 2 electrons to be stable. Moving on. Now drawing the Lewis dot diagram. So using the shortcut, I don't need to count the total number of valence electrons and the total number of paired electrons. I'm going to go straight to the structure. So Cl2 or chlorine, Cl, and another Cl. Next step using the shortcut is to draw the valence electrons around the atom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I do it for both. Single electrons, y'all, can make a bond, while the paired ones cannot. So these highlighted in red cannot make a bond. So I see a single electron. I know it can make a bond with another single, and there's 1 bond between those Cl. But this doesn't look like the structures you guys seen in your notes, so you have to redraw it. So I'm going to redraw Cl with the bond connected. Then I'm going to draw in the lone pairs. And we have our structure, y'all. Looking at oxygen. Again, we don't need the total number of valence or number of paired electrons. I go straight to the structure. 2 oxygen. The valence electrons for oxygen is 6. So I draw 6 valence electrons. So now I see the single electron. So those single electrons can make a bond. So those pair up, those pair up. So I'm going to circle the number of bonds between the 2 oxygen, and I see that there are 2. So I know I'm going to have to draw 2 bonds between the oxygen, but I cannot forget about the lone pairs, so I need to draw those as well. So I'm just going to draw those real quick. And I have my structure. Now CH4 or methane. So we don't need this again. Anytime you see carbon, y'all, carbon goes in the middle. So I'm going to draw it right here as my work. The 4 hydrogen goes around it. Draw our valence electrons. So carbon has 4, so I draw 4 dots around it. Hydrogen has 1. And so I connect the dots. But it doesn't look like the structure we've seen, so I'm going to redraw it, noting the number of bonds between each. So carbon has 1 bond here, 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 and no lone pairs around hydrogen. I am done. Okay, if you guys have any questions, y'all, please ask your teacher. Have a good one.